Anna, and today I want to tell you about the Nintendo Direct news. Let's get into it. Breaking news, everyone! Did you hear? Oh my goodness. Oh, guys, I can't even contain myself. I am freaking out so much. Did you see the latest Nintendo Direct? Oh my goodness, you know exactly why I'm here and why we're talking about. And if you don't, hello. My name is TheNinaGabriella, and today I have the me news going on. We had some really big announcements from this month's Nintendo Direct, and we should be having another Nintendo Direct coming up directly after this one very soon, talking about details of the Nintendo Switch 2. But I'm not here to talk about those today. Today I'm here to talk about some of the big announcements having to deal with one of my favorite games of all time, Story of Seasons. Did you see the Direct? Today we're going to talk a little bit about the original game and how I think it's going to compare to this remake that was shown today in the Nintendo Direct. If you'd like to see more videos like that, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. These videos take a while to make, and if you'd like to support the channel even more, you could check out my members side of the channel where I post behind the scenes and mini vlogs. Now, let's get into it! Story of Seasons!
Welcome to Zephyr Town, a cozy place nestled in a windswept valley. This is where your new life begins.
This month, we've seen a lot of good games being shown in the Nintendo Direct, a couple even that I really liked. There were some RPG-style games, Tomodachi Life is coming up, and I would love to talk about Tomodachi Life too, as that is also one of my favorite games. But we all know my favorite game is Harvest Moon. Now, for the people who don't know, Harvest Moon is part of the Story of Seasons franchise. Basically, Natsume and Marvelous was a company that worked together on these Harvest Moon games. Unfortunately, the company had split, and now Natsume owns the Harvest Moon name, and Story of Seasons owns the characters and all of the graphics of the actual game titles, but they can't call it by the same name as Harvest Moon anymore. I talked about this a lot in previous videos, but that's just a little gist if you didn't know. So, about 17 years ago, they had created a game called Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar. I actually have it here. I couldn't find the cartridge, or I couldn't find the case for it anymore, but I've had this game since I was a kid. And let me just say, this game is by far one of my favorites. I even talked about this as being one of my favorite games in Best Games video, so if you want to see me talk about this even more, head over to that video. But this game is getting a revamp. Now, it's being rebranded by the Story of Seasons titles due to that split of the companies, but seeing this game fully fleshed out today in that Nintendo Direct gave me so much hope for the Story of Seasons franchise. They already have previous release Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. They also did Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, two great old classic Harvest Moon games back in the day. But this game is none like any other. This game is truly amazing. Let's go through the summary of the game a little bit. Now, in Japanese, this game was called Bokujo Monogatari Yokoso Kaze no Bazaru Ranch Story Welcome to Wind Bazaar. In English, Harvest Moon DS Grand Bazaar. This is the 5th title for the Nintendo DS and the 19th game in the Harvest Moon series. Originally releasing in Japan, later coming to America, this game came out in 2008. Then later in 2010, and later in Europe in 2011. Now, the plot of this game is pretty interesting. This game actually started in Zephyr's Town, a bazaar that once was very famous and was well known across the world, featuring customers and peddlers from all over coming to Zephyr Town. But by the time you arrive, the bazaar has fallen into some despair with a lot of crazy events. The player is asked to bring prosperity back to Zephyr Town by setting the bazaar and expanding it. So in this game, you attend a weekly bazaar and you buy and you sell goods on top of growing crops and raising animals, catching bugs, mining, all kinds of different things that you can do in this game. Along with some of my favorite features being the fact that you can own multiple pets, along with getting married with some great bachelors and bachelorettes. Now, this game is similar to most Harvest Moon games, but the fact that you can own a bazaar, this is one This is one of the only games you can really do this. This was seen a little bit in Harvest Moon DS, or A Wonderful Life I should say, where you can own a little bit of shop, but there's not a big emphasis on it. This game really gave you that shop feature along with being a typical Harvest Moon farmer. Now, there's some really cool stuff that you can do in this game. The gameplay of this is pretty cool. You get a chance to set up a shop every week. On top of being able to buy things from people, you get a chance to get to know these characters very well. I think they all have great personalities in Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar. It's one of my favorite games just because of the characters alone and just the gameplay, being able to unlock some of the secrets of the world. Not to mention the map is so expansive. There's windmills that you can unlock in the game which will allow you to ferment items such as milk, cheese, wine, being able to do even more and sell a lot more products at your Grand Bazaar. On top of this game is just amazing in general, and it's just so fulfilling and fun to play. Some of my favorite things in this game was just that bazaar feature, because every Harvest Moon game has their own little story and can be fun and cozy to play, but being able to have a shop and run a regular Harvest Moon farm was everything that I had wanted in a Harvest Moon game wrapped into one. If you didn't see my review talking about Sugar Dew Valley, that was one of the things I had liked about the game, is that it gave us that shop feature along with owning a farm. But the reason why Grand Bazaar, in my opinion, just did it better is because they added so much more you can do with it. Seeing that this game is going to be redone for the Nintendo Switch is truly amazing. I think the graphics in here are going to be a lot better developed. On top of the fact you can see some of our notable characters are coming back. Everyone looks a little bit more grown up. That was one thing I had mentioned in my first review talking about Grand Bazaar, is just that characters in this game look like straight up children in my opinion, and for a lot of people who've grown up playing these games, maybe that was fine for the times, but I think giving these characters more of an adult and mature look, you can definitely see is being seen in this game. It looks amazing. The real question is, do we think this game is coming for Nintendo Switch 2, or will you be able to play it on both Switches? Now, I'm sure this question is going to be dated down the line, but I'm sure you will be able to play this game for both consoles, crossing my fingers. But if this is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, give them my money, because I need this game. Out of all Harvest Moon games, this one right here just has so much charm to it. If you've never played the original, I highly recommend checking that one out first, just because this game has a lot you can learn from going into this new game. Another thing that I noticed in the trailer is that we can see a big expansion of what this map had looked like from just the paper flat view 2D version on the original game. So I think that's going to be very nice, knowing that the map already in Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar was quite large. I found myself getting lost there plenty of times, so I'm hoping that they keep that up in this new installment with a big map space that a lot of people can run and be free in. To add on to that, I already had loved seeing those bubble cows in their cute 3D form. That is the one exception I can say to these 3D games, is I see those bubble cows in their cute bubbly form. I had to even bring out my bubble cow. My bubble cow, I mean, look at him. I'm pretty sure this was from A New Beginning, but look at him. Like, give me all the bubble cows, okay? They are so freaking adorable. I want like 50 of these, okay? If you guys know where I can get more of these, write in the comments below. But seeing those cute little bubble cows just for that split second in the trailer was such a blessing to me, okay? I love them. Another thing we also noticed is the marriage system, seeing that it looks like there is going to be more of a wedding feature. You only have to see a short clip of that in the Nintendo Direct, but it looks like it might be a grand event in the Story of Seasons revamp of the game. So very excited to see that. I also noticed that there's like a paragliding feature. The sprites even have some really cool outfits. It looks like there's going to be a lot of new stuff in Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, or I'm sorry, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, so I'm really excited. The last little point I also want to make here is that the Marvelous Games Showcase of 2024, they also released this showcase talking about a Story of Seasons game. So I'm not sure if this is the game that they were talking about, being that this game that we're talking about, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, is coming out this year in 2025, whereas they did talk about this game here. They didn't give this game a title, and while it does look very similar to the graphics of Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, I'm still unsure sure if this is that mystery game they were talking about. There's supposed to be a new game, also a Story of Seasons game that should be coming out soon, and it also featured paragliding in it, which you can see right here. So not sure if this is the game that they're talking about, but I am looking forward to seeing what this game is about also, if this is a new game. Either way, when Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar comes out, I will be doing a review of it, and I'm so excited to talk about it with you guys when it does come out. First impressions wise, I think I just screamed, guys. I literally had to jump on here and talk to you guys about it so quickly, because when I saw this, who else was I gonna talk to? I had to talk to you guys about it. But this is just a brief overview of some of my thoughts. I already know Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, the original, was such a great game that I know Story of Seasons hopefully is just going to be an add-on to that. Do you have any predictions when it comes down to some things that we might want to see more of? Personally, I hope they expand on some of those marriage features, and I hope they also add some more renovations when it comes to housing, customization on the farm, and two-player? But I think that would be stretching it. I don't want to drift too far from the original features of Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, because I think the game, for what it was back in the day, was amazing. For them to do anything too crazy in this one would just be a detriment. I know I've praised this game so much, and I'm sure you already know these things, but let me know down below in the comments what you think this new installment is going to be like. And are you excited to play the new Story of Seasons game? Because I know I am. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you hit that like and subscribe button to see more videos like this. See you soon. Follow for more game reviews. Bye!